Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's chill discussion. With us joining us first is VeronciaJae. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Rebel. How are you doing?
Excellent. Just hearing random beeping noises, but besides that, I'm doing
of course.
Great. There's a lot of things I haven't seen you for like an interview for a while. So I thought to bring you on for tonight's chill discussion. Essentially, for those who are unaware, this is not an interview. This is kind of like, let's talk about various subjects for an extended period of time about various things and what they want to talk about or what I want to discuss. It's kind of like more like a free form rather than sort of like I feel like I'm interrogating someone. So anyway, let's talk about I guess VTubing or VR chat, or what would you like to start off with, Veronica?
It doesn't really matter to me. Recently, I've made quite an upgrade to my own personal rig to help with VTubing, so we could always talk about that if you'd like.
Sure.
I went from a single PC to a dual PC recently, and I have it set up in a way that's like super nifty, where it doesn't require a capture card or anything, and it's actually you know how like studios or stadiums will have multiple displays with the same content spread across it, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you really think they have like a 300-foot HDMI cable and like 200 like 20 frickin' like graphics cards outputting every no. What they use is something called NDI, and that basically transfers the signal over Ethernet. So it transfers my audio and my video. So I'm using this basically like stadium level like software / like hardware to encode it to my second PC so that it can do all the work for the stream, right? So, and that's been awesome. I did a little test stream yesterday, and my VTubing and everything has been super solid. I was able to play Cyberpunk at max everything, 60 FPS with no stream lag.
Whoa.
It's been awesome. It is freaking amazing. Yeah, no lag. I know. It's insane.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, like, I never had a dual PC setup before. Maybe one day when I get my own apartment and get my own place, I'll think about doing it. Because obviously there's a lot of stress with like having all the VTubing software. I remember doing a VTuber stream with the iPhone, and I was like, oh my god, like my CPU is dying despite having like what was I have? Ryzen 9 5900X. Like, I was just like, holy shit, like,
yeah,
my computer's dying and I have so much stuff running, and I was just like, my computer's gonna explode. So obviously I thought about getting a dual PC eventually to offload those the computer overloading essentially from just running everything on one machine. Makes sense to have two PCs.
Yeah, especially in this kind of like rise of VTubers, right? Where so many people are using different kind of software to run their virtual selves, right? And I feel like the more and more advanced those get, the more and more resources they'll require. I would run OBS, my VC first, right, for my tracking and everything like that, and then I would run something called Shoost, a program that kind of like enhances the environment of like your VTuber and stuff like that. Very neat software. It's in like beta on Patreon right now, but super chill. And I was using 50% with all that running of my 3090. If a $1,500 graphics card is being used up 50% of it, it's like, what am I doing? It's insane. Yeah, so it's nice though. It's all offloaded onto that main PC now, and it's smooth sailing. You know, I love it so far. So,
do you have any like heating issues with running two computers in the same room?
Yeah, actually, so I live in California, and for those who don't know, it's very and this is something that a lot of people don't know and are surprised by. A lot of housing in California doesn't have central air. There's no central air system. There's heating. There's no central air. Most of California has like just an open window policy, right? Where you just keep your entire house open at all times. And it gets hot. It gets so hot. So I've got right now. I had to get it like a desk to put my main PC behind my main desk, because that was the only place that I had an open window to exhaust all the heat out of my room. And and I thought, oh, there's the problem solved. A week later, I get a second PC and I just create just as much heat. All right, so it didn't help me very much. Oh, but yeah, lots of heating issues.
Shit. No, I'm feeling that. Like, well, where I live in Canada, like it's pretty standard to have an AC unit and a furnace for the winter. But this AC unit's 30 years old, and it barely functions. So tomorrow we're gonna look at see if we can replace it, because I can't be streaming doing my little interviews and then be sweating my balls. So yeah, I understand what it's like to like not have an AC unit, because like it is unbearable. Like going to bed and like sweating is like the worst thing ever.
Oh,
Absolutely
it is
terrible.
genuinely the worst thing when you just want to get underneath your blankets.
Yeah.
And rest, right? I'm someone who has a very hard time falling asleep without like being wrapped up in the covers, right?
Yeah.
And like of my own comfort of my own bed, being snuggled up in this ball in a slightly warm blanket, right? Like a very fuzzy blanket, very soft, right? But it just gets too hot. I gotta keep a foot, like a leg out underneath my blanket just to dissipate the heat. You gotta have that single leg out.
I believe it. I remember last summer it was worse. Like it was, well, I'm Canadian, so we use Celsius, but essentially it's like 90, 100 every day, and that's like 30, plus Celsius, and it was terrible, absolutely terrible. Like I was just like, how do I survive? Almost like the only thing that was cold, I had to just drink beer, like straight up, just put like the fucking beer can on my forehead
God.
and like get someone intoxicated just to feel cold, just have a nice cold brewski, to keep you chilling,
They tell you to drink alcohol to stay warm, right?
Yeah. But the only thing that was cold, I had like water wasn't even that cold. I was like, fuck.
You didn't have water?
I have water, but it wasn't like the water from the fridge, which like is filtered water, isn't as cold. But the beer in the fridge for some reason gets way colder than the water. So I was just like, oh fuck, I'd have a nice cold beer.
All right.
I mean, people have cold
Probably
beers in the summer all the time, so that's what I do.
I guess you're right. I mean, I feel like most of the reason for that is for them to get drunk, though.
True. I mean, it's a typical like American, like, you mow the lawn, yeehaw, brother, and then you crack a brewski right after and put some hamburgers on the, on the grill. Typical.
Oh yeah, that actually sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Grilled food. Oh, you're making me hungry.
Listen, I love grilling. I love just put some shish kebabs, put some sausages, put some hot dogs, put some chicken on there. Hell
Put
yeah.
a little bit of everything, throw it onto a stick, and call it a meal. You know?
Yeah. Fried. Like you just like, cook up, grill like vegetables, and then you bring all of the family over. And then you have some nice cold beers, or what the millennials do, White Claws. They go like, White Claw Friday, bro, and they fucking go mental,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. Do you have any preference for drinking? Like, do you have like a preference of like what you like to drink?
Not necessarily. I haven't been drinking for the past couple of weeks now. This leads on to a pretty interesting topic, I suppose, for anyone who doesn't know. So I haven't been drinking recently because I had to be sober 2 weeks before surgery. And I've had to be sober for the majority afterwards. And for those who don't know, I recently had breast augmentation surgery. That's why I'm not able to dance or move around as much. The girls are a little painful, right? But because of the healing process, I can't drink or consume anything that may or may not cause my blood to thin and prevent it from healing. Because it needs to clot to heal and etc. So. I haven't been able to do anything recently because of that. So normally I'm I'm a pretty trashy girl, I'm not gonna lie. Anything that gets me fucked up, minus tequila, I'm not allowed to drink tequila anymore. The last time I got tequila drunk, I was found at DJ night, on the floor, bawling my eyes out for about 2 to 3 hours straight, talking about how I wasn't good enough for anyone. It was depressing.
Damn.
Not ideal.
Oh, damn. I mean, okay, so anything but tequila. So you have anything like,
Yes.
So is that just like, would you say preferred is like, do you drink more beer or do you drink more like hard liquor, like rum? Or
More
whiskey?
liquor. I'm not a beer person. You give me a wine cooler, give me a screwdriver, give me a vodka cran, you know, anything like that. You mix those things up, whatever, you know, I'm good with that, you know. A little bit of an energy drink and some vodka. Don't ever do that. Don't mix your uppers and downers, but like it's not good for you, but I do it anyways.
I guess I'm more of like a cooler guy where I just drink, well, I drink some beers, but I mostly drink cider because I'm just like, this is like adult apple juice. Woohoo! And like, there's
You're
like,
not wrong. It really is. It's pretty good.
yeah, like I have a couple ciders in my fridge right now, and I have a couple White Claws, so I was just like, that's what I drink, you know. If I want to go ham, you know, you bring out the vodka, you start mixing it, and then you just fucking take shots, and then you're just fucking dunzo. When like I'm a light drinker, so it doesn't take much for me to get wasted.
Oh.
So
Same. I've always heard that soju is pretty good. I've had soju like when I've gone out to different places for like ramen and stuff, you know, for like on with my meal. But I really haven't bought any. I remember that was something that Cece recommended to me time and time again. Is like, go get soju. You need to get good. Like you could drink it with anything, and it's like an alcohol made with rice or something. I forget exactly, but it's not. I still haven't gotten it, but I heard it's really good. So and you can barely taste the alcohol, which is my kind of alcohol.
oh shit. No, because I think I saw some people was like, I don't know, maybe they had it in South Korea for like mizkif and them, but they were drinking something, and they said like it didn't taste like alcohol, and then like they get up, and they're like, oh fuck, and they like fall over, and they're like, oh shit. You know that?
Yeah, that's probably soju. Yeah.
I never had soju or whatever, anything like that, but I've had like people mix drinks for me that are like really fruity, and you're like, wow, this tastes like fruit punch, and you're like, this is so good. You drink like a tall glass, and then you're like, this is great. You get up, oh fuck, you just like fall over. You're like, oh shit. Like this. Dude.
Yeah, you're on the highway to the danger zone with that one. You're fucking flying high, right?
Good thing I didn't have to drive that day. I was I had someone else take me, but I was just like, damn, like that's crazy. Same with my parents when they went on a cruise. They were being fed a bunch of like fruit drinks, and they're like, this is so yummy. It just tastes like lemonade or something. And then my dad was just like, dude, why am I so drunk? Like, what the fuck's happening? It's just like.
Jeez. Yeah, you gotta be careful with those fruity ones. If you can't taste it, it's a good drink, but it's also a scary drink. You gotta pace yourself a bit.
Yeah. That's and also it goes into like VR as well, because in VR you don't feel the effects of being drunk until you take off the headset. So I think that alludes to it as well. Like I know from personal experience for going to clubs or events, you take a bunch of shots, take a bunch of drinks. And you're like, dude, I'm 4 beers in, or like 6 beers, or 10 shots in. You're like, bro, I'm fine, bro. You take off the headset to go to the bathroom. You're like, oh fuck, like you're just like tumbling over, like you're just like, eh.
Oh my god.
Too many stories are like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's a completely different experience getting drunk in VR versus like out of VR. Like obviously you have your good times in real life and etc. But like. It's that experience there where you think you're in control while the headset is on, and then as soon as the headset goes off, it's like, whew, reality. Where am I? How did I get here? Like, reality really freaking hits you.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm not a scientist, but like, I never claimed to be. I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. I'm just joking. Spider-Man meme. Anyway, what I found out is the reason why you don't feel drunk while in VR is because of the depth of field. So in real life, obviously, if you put your hand in front of your face, obviously you have like that depth of field. Everything behind you is blurred. That's how, you know, depth of field works. Duh. But that doesn't apply in VR. So like the screen's only an inch from your eye, so your brain doesn't have to differentiate how far or far away something is. So that's why when you get drunk, you don't have that. But being drunk fucks with your depth of your perception of depth. So that's why when you take off the headset, everything just loads. It's almost like your brain just loads everything around you. It's like, what the fuck? You know, so for example, when the next headsets are going to be coming in the next couple of years, they're starting to figure out depth of field. I was talking with Thrill yesterday about it. It's not out yet, but in the next couple of years, the next standard is going to be like holographic or holo something like lenses, and they'll actually be able to have depth of field in VR, and that's where you're going to lose that. Oh man, now you can feel drunk in VR. So.
I see. It's your eyes simulate depth with VR to an extent, right?
Yes.
Like if I focus on you and if I look around you while still focusing on you, things aren't within like my field of vision, right? Like things are slightly blurred, but since it's basically a screen on our faces, it's kind of like it's a simulated amount of depth of field, right? Depth is still perceived, it's just not as perceived as the real world is. It's not your iris focusing on something and blurring out the rest of the world, you know? Everything is technically within focus. It's just dependent on what you're looking at. So I can see that. I can understand how that works.
Yeah, there's some headsets I saw that were trying to like emulate it by like as you look at something, like your lens will literally like move forward and backwards in real time, like, you know, when you're ever like, I saw some demos like that of some future headsets, and I thought that was cool.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then like it would like make like, you know, like a cone effect where it'd be like basically whatever, because it'll track your eyes. It has to use like an eye tracker to understand where your eyeballs are looking, and then it'll basically cause like everything outside of your direct field of view to be like blurred, and then like, you know, it's like a cone. I don't know, some sciencey shit. Basically, people are developing future headsets and stuff like that. So that's coming out, I don't know, next 5 years or something. We'll figure it out. Everyone and their mom's got a Quest 2 or an Index currently, or an OG Vive.
True.
So this is for like the next generation of VR headsets. But anyway, speaking of you know, VR stuff, so obviously, you know, you have you know, doing some you know, testing with, well, you haven't been dancing, but like, you know, what's your thoughts on like the IK 2.0? Because I think IK 2.0 is like the update that's you know, largely accepted as like a really good update, and everybody like agrees it's really good, and everyone's like, this is top tier. Like we needed this like 4 years ago, you know.
Oh yeah, we definitely did, but for the tracking that we had previously, I don't think we had bad tracking. Our tracking was still by far, like, for me personally, like leagues ahead of where something like Neos was. Neos is like, oh, we have 11-point tracking, but we have no hip deflection, so you can't roll your hips like a sexy ass, you know, anime woman, right? And that's what we all want to be, right? So since I couldn't roll my hips like that, I mean, what's the point? What's the point of 11-point tracking? So now that we finally have 11-point tracking, and also different variations of it, you don't need to have 11 points of tracking. You could have a chest tracker with 3 other trackers on and be good. You could have, you know, maybe just the elbows with everything else on. You're fine. You can have just hands and your feet and no hip if you want to now too. It's like the combinations are endless. Well, okay, there's an end to them, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better. And the sitting and the standing modes are great, you know. So if you're sitting down, you always want to toggle over to like locking it to your head. When you're standing up, you want to toggle it to your hip so that everything is proportioned correctly. It's nice. It's nice. And I definitely think I love the Fizzbones update, and I think it's great. The Fizzbones itself, the avatar dynamics, I definitely think is neat, but at the moment I don't really care about it. Because I don't really have anything that uses it, but I think overall, in the updates that we've received in the past couple months, I think the IK update is definitely one of the most worthwhile for everyone. Because even if you have 3 point, 10 point, 11 point, yeah, just whatever you have, you know, full body, half body, it's a huge upgrade and a huge step in the right direction for proper IK. And I think that's huge. I'm glad that they've had incredible developers working on it. I think the name is Kung, who's been doing a lot. Yeah, who's been doing a lot of the IK stuff. Also, shout out to some people out there in the community that are making some crazy things for Fizzbones and etc. I know Hi has a bunch of great videos showing off like the proper ways of like setting up your Fizzbones or like different kind of animations and etc. Complete different like Unity like SDK upgrades too, and it's great. It's great. It's genuinely awesome to see the community, the developers, and everyone actually come together to improve VR chat versus, you know, the typical thing of everyone going to Twitter and bitch and moan about it.
True. This update broke everything. Or like, I still see people complaining.
Avatars.
Or no, I still see it. I still see it. They're like, this broke SDK2 avatars. My avatar from 2017 is now busted. What the hell? I'm like, dude, the year is 2022, bro. Why are you still using SDK2 in 2022, man? What the hell? They're like, this is the worst update. My world is broken.
One of the biggest complaints that I've heard recently is someone who like refuses to upgrade a lot of their like really good world SDK2 maps to 3.0 because they changed a couple things in 3.0. Even though there's been ways to easily like translate those 2.0 maps to 3.0. I don't get people who are so afraid of change when the change is for the better. Right? It doesn't make any sense. And plus, I think the harsh reality of all of this, and that people are unaware of or just purposefully ignorant, is the fact that everything in VR chat will be deprecated at one moment.
Yeah.
At some point in time, this world won't even load. At some point, your avatar, my avatar, is not gonna work. It's just not. It's just that's just how the world's going to be, because everyone's telling VR chat, why aren't you using Unity 2022 yet? Because the whole graphics engine's changed. The world changes, software, hardware, all of that changes and improves for the better, which means you have to leave the old behind or move forward with it. And the thing is, a lot of us, I would say, own the properties of which we're using, our avatars, our 3D models, our worlds we exist in. And a lot of the people complaining are the people who don't. The people who do not own their models, the people who use public models and etc., and the people who aren't really going out of their way to back up things like their data and their other intellectual properties. And I feel like they're going to be hit the hardest. And those are the people that are going to be on Twitter. Those are the people who are going to be on Twitch. Those are the people who are going to be in our comment sections complaining that, oh my god, my avatar doesn't work anymore. My map doesn't load anymore. I don't know how to play this game no more. You know, and it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that, and I feel like people are in for a harsh reality, because those same people are the ones advocating for updating to like the latest Unity when they don't realize what harm comes with that, right? And they're trying to make it easier for the upgrades. They're trying to make it easier to move from the older Unities to the newer ones, but there's only so much they can do and so many resources they can throw at a problem that they didn't inherently make for themselves, and it's just a part of the Unity engine. Yeah, you can say upgrade to Unreal or something like that, but that's a completely different like topic and not great for VR. Like everyone throws out Unreal Engine's amazing. No, secret. It's not. It's not good for VR. It's not good for content creation. It's not good for creating our own models and stuff. It might be a great utility for making games, but not assets for us. Not for ease of use, at least.
Yeah. No, you said like a lot there, but yeah, I saw this type of comments.
Yeah,
about,
sorry.
Like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I prefer talking a lot. But obviously I'm here to dissect some of it. So obviously you mentioned like some, like I literally see, I won't mention the names of the people, but there are some prominent people that do make specific worlds, and then they complain about, oh, my world doesn't work anymore. It's like, dude, this wasn't like you found out the news yesterday. You had like literally when we went to SDK 3, it was already like, dude, SDK 2 is gonna not work one day. That was years ago. Like, this isn't something that just happened. Or like even with physics bones, I see people complaining just like yesterday about like, bro, they just updated the physics bones and all my avatars don't work. I'm like, bro, you can literally revert it back and you're just expected to re-upload your avatar. Like, come on, dude. They're like, no, that's
the biggest complaint that I have there is that Fizzbones has been out for a month on beta.
Yeah. Exactly.
You had time. You had time to upgrade. You had time. I upgraded this. I upgraded one model so that I had something ready, you know? And all my other ones, I'm waiting for a slight little, you know, kind of like a 1.5 re-debut. Hush, hush, you know, coming up here potentially in June. Winkety, winkety. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's like old man yells at cloud type of people. Damn, they're changing the VR chat, and I didn't know. What the hell? I woke up and my shit don't work. What the? It's like, dude, it's been like this for years. You're just oblivious and, I don't know, naive or stupid or something. I'm just gonna say it. Like, some people, you're just stuck in the past. Like, and you know what's funny? I saw several of these people that were complaining also then said, well, I'm gonna go play Chill VR. And I said, okay, fine, go ahead. That's what I said. I was like, go ahead. No one's stopping you. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Now instead of 5 players, you have 6 players, you know? Like, congratulations.
Yo, I mean, hey, those servers really getting some use, you know?
Yeah, let's go. So, I don't know. It's just people being silly. I'm always thinking of the future. Like, I don't, you know, the only people I can feel, even... I don't know. The only time where I see it, like where someone might be a little bit upset and might make sense, is avatar creators. Even though they have like a month, some people who make public avatar worlds, they have to like re-upload essentially 400 avatars or something like that. That can be tedious and annoying. But again, you still have like a month to do it. It's not like, you know, you can do like a couple avatars a day, you know, and probably be finished by the time it's, you know, out. So,
I mean, I want to point out that an individual that some of y'all might know, and the actual creator of my model, Shanzo, had to update their entire world, which I think at the time had about 40-50 avatars in it.
Yeah.
And I remember when their world was originally taken down because they started adding requirements for models to be under a particular like set of like ratings, right? So you could have a very poor avatar, but you couldn't have like an extremely very poor avatar. And I remember Shanzo updated their world in what was it, like a week with all their avatars and optimized all of them so that they fit within the restrictions. Like, people can do it. It's just people don't want to. And a lot of the public world avatars, a lot of those creators don't necessarily care. And do you really give them, like, should they? At the end of the day, should they care? I mean, they're giving free models, free content to everyone in the game. It's kind of up to them on whether they update it or not, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the only other people I can think of that, you know, this could be a tedious process is if you're someone who does like memes like, you know, Lothon or Cyberchimp, who has like 1,000 meme avatars and has to update every single one. But I mean, shit, I don't know. I just think, you know, do you really use 1,000 meme avatars? I think maybe they use like 20 or 30. You know, you just pick like the ones that you use are good and kind of just say, rip the rest, you know? I don't know.
I mean, as someone who has, I mean, you've seen the majority of my avatars and outfits. I think my like variations of avatars and outfits, I have more than like 40, 50, if we're not counting different avatars. I upload them all and have to update all of them as well. Like, it's nothing that not the rest of us have to do either. I mean, I understand hundreds of avatars versus like 40, 50 outfits. Completely different story. But a lot of the time, I feel like people are just ignorant to the fact that change does have to happen. And when that change does happen, they weren't ever prepared. It's like backing up your data, right? Everyone tells you to have a storage backup for everything on your computer, right? no one does it. And when your PC crashes and you lose all your shit, whose fault is it at the end? Do you go off to Microsoft and complain to them that Windows wiped all your data, or do you look at the people who told you originally that, hey, maybe you should create data backups, right? Maybe you should have had like an offsite backup. Maybe you should have had a Dropbox with everything on it, right? Like, at the end, it's really the users who are giving these warnings, who should have an understanding that these things will fail at some moment. We're still in alpha or beta. For people who don't know, this is an early access video game. I understand it's early access for like years now, but it is early access. That's why it's constantly changing. If it wasn't constantly changing, we would be getting like new content to the game rather than new engine changes, new actual features, right? Because that's just how that works. We're still in early access, and I feel a lot of people forget that everything in the game is not solidified, right? The menus can change at any moment. The way Fizzbones change at any moment. The way that we perceive everything in the engine that we run on can be changed at a moment. And none of it is, permanent at the moment, Until we hit a 1.0 release of VR chat, we're not there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, we don't know when this game will be released or ever it will be released. I don't know. It could take 5-10 years at this point. I don't know. But the point is, like, things are going to change. Old maps are going to depreciate. And, it's up to you as an individual to update your map or, scrap it and start new. Like, I have old maps that I have on my account or old avatars from years ago that I don't care about anymore. Like, remember when it was like 5.6.3 to 2017, then 2018, now we're in 2019, and some of my old avatars, I try and use them, and like the props on them or the gestures are like broken, and some of them just don't load properly or just stuck T-posing. I don't care, because it's just like, that was just an old avatar. I only care about the few outfits that I have for this OC, and like that's it. Like, I don't know. I just think that you should always be aware, back up your stuff. Literally, you can say even in the updates all the time, back up your files, back up your stuff. They literally said with the new update like yesterday about like the creator hub or whatever it was called, they literally said in bold letters, back up your stuff before using this. But people are still like, dude, it don't work.
Yeah, it says it for Fizzbones too. It says before transferring all your dynamic bones to Fizzbones, make sure to back it up. It's like everyone's given the warning. It's up to you to take it or not. Do what you will with it.
That's right. Anyway, we'll talk about something else. So, I guess, I wanted to go back to like IK for a second, because I actually had, I had a friend of mine, Flame Knight, actually have 9-point tracking. So they had the elbows and the chest, not the knees, because they said that wasn't really worth it, because like, you can't really do certain movements.
It's not worth it.
And they actually had an avatar, because like if you try to use the chest tracker, like on my avatar, it just doesn't work. You look like a hunchback because it just doesn't work right. But they had a specific avatar where it was weight painted properly, and I was actually blown away. I was just like, what? Like they could move their top torso independent of their hip, and it was like they're like doing like full body like waves and like movements, and I was just like, whoa, like this is cool. Obviously not every dancer is going to do it. I think 6 point with the 2.0 is good enough as it is, but if someone wants to go that extra mile to then do those types of crazy movements, or like the wave or whatever, like we're moving, whatever,
yeah,
it works. And I was just kind of surprised by that. I was just like, damn, that looks really good. Like I could definitely see some people using this to their advantage, or just the overall of like, you lock the hip, lock the head, and it just functions. Because before, whenever I had full body, I was almost like I was fighting the system constantly. If I was just trying to sit in a chair or trying to do something, or my hip is flying off, or I take off my headset and then my arms fly off or something like that. Now that doesn't really happen as often. Or I remember like seeing people dance and then their head spins around like like an owl. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't happen as often.
I've been there.
So I was just like, damn, what a good update. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. But we'll talk about something else.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So, so other things obviously to discuss, is like VTubing as a whole. Obviously, you've been doing VTubing stuff for a while now with like your 3D model. Was that a personal choice, or did you ever think about doing 2.0 at some point?
So, I've talked about this actually quite a lot, quite extensively. At the moment, I feel like 3D is far more expressive. I feel like I can do a lot more, especially with things like face tracking, and not to like VTube, like 2D Live is definitely limiting in some factors. You have the aesthetic of, oh, I'm an anime girl, you know, and that's great, but I don't feel like that is the way that I want to personally express myself to the fullest. I don't just want to be an anime girl. I want you guys to see me move around. I want to see you guys, like, my body and my head and everything, and I want to be able to, like, you know, turn around and have a back. So there's a lot to it. What I much prefer 3D, because I can be far more expressive with my entire body. Now, I have thought about a 2D Live model. I've thought about it quite extensively, and I think I might actually be having one made for me anyways. I have because if I were to get a 2D Live model, there's only one person I would allow to do the art for it. And for anyone who doesn't know, an individual by the name of Pawn, or Pawn they used to go by, who does my emotes for me. That individual is the only person that I think I would trust to do a 2D Live of me, and it's just because they've always drawn me over the past 4 years that I've known them now. Like, they're a very close friend, and they legitimately can draw my emotions in a little emote perfectly, right? And if they can do that, if they can express me in that level of detail in something like an emote or like a little bit of cute little sketch fan art, I couldn't imagine what they could do with a live 2D model, right? So I may or may not be commissioning them for potentially a future debut coming down the line. It'd be a completely different outfit and kind of like style of my character. It'd still be very similar to this, but I might mix it up with like my previous look that I used to have, like my IRL self, but we'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't made any plans set in stone yet, but I have asked them about it, and they were just talking to me yesterday about potentially accepting my commission, and him and I are going to talk about it a little bit more extensively with planning. But for me, I think 3D is far more versatile. I think the fact that you've been able to use something like AR face tracking with 3D for such a while now, it's, you know, it's got a life of its own. It's got definitely far more expressiveness than I think I could with the 2D Live. Now, that's not to say that 2D Live isn't getting there with their recent updates and other, whatever it is, other software that they're running to get face tracking working now. Like, there's a lot of good 2D Lives out there. I mean, anytime I go to Vebe stream or Snuffy stream or like any of those content creators, it's like, oh my god, like their 2D Live models are adorable, right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go a little off the rails here and talk about a compliment that I received recently. For those, do you happen to know who Tectone is from OTK? They've been hanging around VR chat recently. I've been spending a lot of time with them, playing a lot of Mario Kart, getting upset with them, flustering them, etc., etc. I've been having a really good time with them, but I met his wife, Freem. Freem is a VTuber, for those who don't know, and they are an incredible graphic designer, artist, etc. Like, they're pretty 10 out of 10. And they, I feel, have like this, like, to me, I look at them, I look up to them, right? And I'm like, oh my god, like, you're so impressive in what you do. But they tossed me a DM after we were talking and hanging out the other night that they're like, your model is definitely one of the most fluent and awe-inspiring models that I have seen as a VTuber. You have the most insane tracking, you have the smoothest animations, and what you do is above and beyond anything that I've ever seen from other content creators. And like, that melted my heart. Like, it was, you know, to have someone that you kind of look up to and compliment and give you this recognition that not many people do. I don't get that recognition from many people, you know? I put a lot of work into what I do so that it works the way it does. And it's nice to get someone like that looking at you and recognizing that. And I think that all is because of 3D. 2D's great. 2D's always looking good, you know? But I think 3D's just the little kick that you need to kind of really get to the next level.
Yeah, there's an example of like people pushing 3D, like Code Miko, or if you watch Phil Famet, she did her own, took her basically like a VR chat model and then made her own Unity project, then walks around and be able to basically sit around her room and have chat, kind of like a Code Miko stream, but more of the more anime style. So those are two people that really push for 3D, and you know, obviously Code Miko's using Unreal, and then using more of a kind of like that realism anime look, and then obviously a lot more people are using like the anime aesthetic like ourselves, but it can still look really well, you know.
Right.
You know, obviously Code Miko is like a technician and knows all this stuff, and a programmer. Not everybody knows how to do that. You know, I think back to like the old stuff from like 10-15 years ago, whenever that was. It was with what's her name again? The first one, the one on YouTube, Kazumi AI. There you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's OG as hell. Like, you know, but that was such a long time ago that you like literally needed a whole team to just function, you know, behind like basically a 3D model. But now, you know, it's just buy a headset and hop in VR chat, and essentially you could be classified as a VTuber just by doing that, you know. I mean,
we were the first VTubers, weren't we?
Well, this leads into a subject, because technically some people who like VTubers who don't play VR chat think VR chat is like the false prophet, or like it's fake, or like you're not a real VTuber if you play VR chat. That's fake. Like, that's not real. I'm like, what? Because I've been told by some people. They're like, you're not a VTuber, you play VR chat. You're not allowed in our team.
So to be fair, a good little good little switcheroo you can do there is that, well, they're not VTubers either, because they're not streaming on YouTube. I mean, come on.
Oh, like, shit.
It's literally in the name, right?
True.
Bunch of V streamers out here, you know, trying to take over VTubers. Am I right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I feel that. Yo, thank you, Chocolate, for the raid. Appreciate it. But
I will add to that, actually. I will strongly disagree. VTubing is all about using a virtual representation of yourself, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're interested in, right? So no matter what, if you're using a virtual representation of yourself in any way, you know, whether it's like some like anime woman or man, or a 2D live model, 3D, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're still part of this virtual streaming community that is known as VTubers. So I don't, you know, I don't know why people are so against it. I mean, I understand how easy it is to get into something like VR chat and how simple it is, but shouldn't that be thanked? Shouldn't that be praised? Shouldn't it be looked at? I mean, look at even some of the biggest content creators as a VTuber. Look at Hollow Live. They all have hung out in VR chat. Silvervale at the moment, I think, is streaming in VR chat. Are they not a VTuber because they do both? I mean, I do both. Like, is it such an issue? We all play games and use virtual representations of ourselves. Just play nice. Come on. What's the point? Don't gatekeep. Gatekeep's cringe. All right. Gatekeeping is super cringe.
Preach it. No, it's true. Like, well, I think the scenario that's more likely to happen is simply this. Like, you know, you'll talk to some VTubers who don't play VR chat, and then like, whether they have a 2D mod or 3D, whatever, they'll say like, okay, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I play VR chat. They're like, VR chat? Why aren't you playing, you know, Apex Legends or something? And I'm like, well, I just like playing VR chat. And they're like, well, I'm not gonna play VR chat. That's cringe. There's bad people that play the game. There's like, yo, this happens and this bad thing, and then like this guy steals your avatar, and then like, you know, I heard very bad things about that game. I don't want to touch it, you know. But you know, I'll play Halo if you play Halo or something. I was like, oh,
right, yeah. I don't get it. I think it's one of those things that people are just afraid to try things that they've never used before. I think it comes down to ignorance and people not really understanding what exactly VR chat is. As someone who very, very often hangs out with many people that are new to this game, many people who are new to this, I would consider more of a social platform, this virtual space we all live in. Yeah. As someone who introduces a lot of people to this place, I feel like you need a good group, you need a good crowd, definitely, to introduce you. I mean, look at Rob and the Gator community in general. We've brought in handfuls of people from, you know, VeronciaJae, Niji Sanji. We have OTK. We have huge names and brands coming and being recognized by the world, joining us for our degenerative Saturday nights where everyone brings out their tits and dances. All right, like legit. Like, and it brings everyone together. Everyone loves it. Everyone has a good time, you know?
Well, absolutely. You know, I just think people, you know, they see like the one bad, like almost like a live stream fail thread, and they're like, well, that's the whole community, because, you know, that one person is really weird, so everyone must be weird like that. Yeah, but it's not. It's further from the truth. Like, well, a lot of people who you know, who play, like, obviously I don't do anything with the Golden Gators specifically, but I know about, like, you know, Tectone coming in. He's having a wonderful time. I think he's addicted to just playing VR chat now or whatever. So, like, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like occasionally you'll see like you said, like a lot of the VeronciaJae girls come and they'll play and have fun. Like, you know, if you're just hanging out with your own friends and just having a blast, there's no, or you just have like a personal tour guide, you know, just come in and show you around and have a fun time. There's, you know, you can avoid the, you know, the bad stuff if you're a streamer. It's not that hard, you know. I just think people just, you know, I think the problems stem from people that don't ask and they'll just jump right in. Because I've seen people stream VR chat, they'll go to a public and then, you know, get blasted, and they're just like, well, fuck this game, and they're like, all right, back to Halo or back to Apex, you know, whatever. Because they it's like they see it for like 2 minutes, have a bad experience, and you just think, well, this game is donezo. I can't play this game, you know. So
yeah, they don't give it more of a chance, you know. They don't let themselves find good people. And the other thing, and let's all be honest, if you're a VTuber jumping in the VR chat, if I've learned anything about VTubers, they're all a bunch of anxious, nervous, unsocial, like, individuals. They're all a bunch of introverts, right?
that's right.
And the thing is that how do you play a social game and get introduced to it while jumping into a public space and thinking that it's going to go anywhere well, right? If you can't go into a coffee shop and talk to a random stranger about the weather, about the day, about whatever's going on, if you can't have that casual conversation with almost anyone there, then what are you doing? What are you doing, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do that in VR. It's the same exact thing. It's virtual reality. Reality is still a part of it. It's just virtual, you know? So your experiences here are the same as those in the real world. So if you're not able to socialize, then you're not able to socialize. And I feel like a lot of people just get the bad idea of VR chat because of all the other negatives. So once you experience that, they get frightened, they get scared away, pushed away, and it's hard to bring those people back. So it's nice whenever we do get some larger content creators to come by and their first impression of VR chat is like Tectones, and it's huge. Brings in a whole new wave of people. Like, I've gotten so many people in my streams popping over, all these eggies that are like, oh my god, like, this content's amazing, VR is amazing, you VTubers are amazing, this whole VR space is incredible, and I love the people that I've met through it. They're like, I've already been jumping around public worlds, hanging out with people, and I'm like, that's sick, you know, so many more people to the platform, because I feel like VR is almost a dying platform, and it's barely made it off the ground, right? There's so much more to it, and people aren't giving it a chance. So it's nice to see more people do so, and the more people, the more recognition we bring, the more eyes we bring to something like VR chat or VR in general is only good, right? So I don't know. I feel like people should be more inspiring others to try out this, to try out VR, and, you know, jump into things, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Help it grow.
We'll talk about one more subject, then we'll switch it to DullDummy, our second guest for tonight. So obviously you play VR chat for a very long time, practically almost as long as I have, like 4+ years. You know, do you feel that you've grown a lot as a person in relation to VR chat? Because obviously, you know, being around for such a long time, you know, all of us change, and some of us find out who we really are, or, you know, it's almost like VR chat's like a second family. Like, if you really think about it, you know, would you be where you are today without being a streamer, without playing VR chat, you know?
I wouldn't be. Absolutely not. I mean, I live with, if anyone still remembers, the dancing goddess himself, Forcible VR. He's my roommate. He's right over there in the next room. You know, like I live with people I've met in VR chat. I've discovered who I am as a person through VR chat. You know, I always had this little inkling that maybe there's something more about me that just doesn't fit the puzzle pieces, right? Anytime I tried putting that together, I just couldn't get it to fit. But as soon as I came to this realization that I am who I am, the pieces fell together. And I don't think I could have done that without VR chat. I don't think I could have done that without the people I've met, you know, people who helped me find myself and this world that let me be whatever I want to be. And I feel like more people who hear about those stories may or may not be inspired to come make their own stories like that, you know? And I think it's a great change, and it's helped me grow a lot as a person. I think it's helped a lot of people grow, you know, whether you're an introvert and now you're an extrovert, whether you're, you know, as a man and now you're a woman, you know? I mean, who can relate with that? But you know, everything's definitely different, and I have VR chat to thank for a lot of that. So thanks to the game, thanks to the people in it, thanks to the developers who have made this a thing, and I couldn't be more grateful.
That's well said. Like, you know, I feel the same way in terms of, you know, ever since, you know, I've been playing this for 4.5 years, but for the last 2 years it's COVID, so I don't really have any social interactions outside of VR. So obviously it's helped me, you know, pay the bills. It's helped me get to where I am today. I literally run, like, you gotta think about like the bigger picture here. I'm literally running a talk show in VR, sitting in my home, talking to another person across the world, and then interviewing them or having them on my show. Like that's the things I think about. Like, wait, is that really real? And then having people in the audience watch in real time. Like that's like the bigger picture. Yeah, like that's the bigger picture things that I'm like, damn, like that actually is a thing. You know, because what I'm trying to get into or try to like relate this to is like what people talk about on Twitter all the time. People are always like, man, there's nothing to do in VR chat, bro. Like, this game is dead, bro. Like, you know, back in 2018 was the grand old time. I'm like, dude, in 2018, dude, we're all just like, wow, wow, look at VR. Like, you know, no, it was a primitive time, and, you know, now we have all these cool features. We have 2.0, we have physics bones, I have a talk show. Like, what the hell? Like, you know, go out there and make some memories, make some friends, you know? Yeah, everyone's in a private.
Absolutely.
Welcome to society. You know, you don't see your friends IRL every day. Okay, geez, you probably see them like once a week, if even that. You know? I think people just...
Yeah, you don't just randomly walk into people's homes, you know? Like, you gotta be invited, right?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe in the 1940s. Oh, hey there, neighbor. Hello. You know, this is 2022.
Oh, hey there, neighbor.
Yeah, this is 2022. Like, people make their own friend groups and, you know, stuff like that, you know? Come on, you can't expect to have 1,000 friends in VR and expect to actually know every 1,000 people every day, okay? Like, it's unrealistic, okay? That's just how it is, you know? I don't know. It's a whole tangent, you know, rant about people and being whatever. But the important thing is, you know, if you want to try something, try out VR chat. You know, it's free. You don't need VR. You can play in desktop and get a Quest 2 if you don't have a lot of money, and just hop on, make some friends, make some memories, you know. Here I am, you know, playing, you know, 4.5 years later, and I'm now interviewing people and talking to people about their experiences, and then people watching live on Twitch get to hear their stories, their, you know, their connections with people, and maybe how it's changed their life in some capacity. So, you know, be open-minded. Don't just take one person's opinion and it's gospel. Oh man, this game's terrible. I seen some terrible things in my day. It's like, yeah, I see terrible things every day, man. I could walk outside and see terrible things out in the street. Shit, it's life, you know?
Yeah. Have you watched the news?
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, literally. So, the important thing is just focus on the good things and focus on what makes you happy. And what makes me happy is running a show and talking to my good friend VeronciaJae, you know? Simple as that.
Yeah, what's up?
But anyway,
Well, I've enjoyed it.
yeah, thank you. Do you have any final things you want to say?
Maybe? Hi. Looking good. Damn. You come here often? If you want to see more of me, I suppose you can check out, like, my socials and stuff. Yeah. I can also do this.
Whoa!
That's it!
Oh my god, they're an Oni. What the? Transformed! I might transform too. I don't know. Not right now. But, you know. I might get tainted by the demon, and you'll see me as a demon girl one day. I don't know, maybe.
Ooh. Tainted. That sounds hot.
Oh shit. I mean, listen, it's getting hot in here. It's not even summer. What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, all I have to say is I thank you so much, Veronica, for coming by and talking to me.
Of course, yeah.
Having a fun time. And if you want to come back anytime, just let me know. We'll do another chill discussion. Or if you want to come on for a full-fledged interview or a podcast, I'm always down for you because I known you for a long time.
All right.
It's always a pleasure to have you on. So thank you so much. Much love. Mwah. Check out Veronica
Oh,
twitch.tv. VeronciaJae. She's amazing. She's adorable. Follow her on Twitter. Everything.
Well, thank you. All right. Do I just
Yeah,
do I just go? Do what?
You
Okay.
just eat
Bye.
out of here. Bye.
Yeah, I just eat out of here. All right. Oh.
Oh. And I'm sad again. So where's DullDummy? They're in this world somewhere, right? Somewhere in the I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let me see. Oh, they're in the lobby. I see them on my spy camera. Sick. And there she goes. That's right. Anyway, that was VeronciaJae. Now we're coming up for our second guest coming in. Hold on, I have to give them stage access.
Okay, fine.
There you go. Boom. Now you can walk up here. Oh. Anyway,
Hi.
welcome. My second guest. I know that I was talking to Veronica for about an hour, but yeah, I felt that was a good conversation. And also, you know, hopefully you're enjoying it from the. How did it feel to actually watch it from the lobby and see it on TV? Did it feel like a real TV show?
Oh, it was.
Oh, I need to play.
Actually, it was amazing. Just like.
There you go.
Oh.
I got it.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of amazing because it's a lot like actually like being there in real life kind of thing. It genuinely felt almost exactly the same.
Well, anyway, so for those who don't know, this is our second guest, who is DullDummy. You're an artist. You draw on the Twitch, but specifically in VR chat, actually. And I met you not that long
yes,
ago.
indeed.
And I was like, hey, this person's kind of cool. I should interview them for a show. So here you are. So how are you doing today?
Yeah. I am doing absolutely fantastic. Had a bit of a. I mean, 3 a.m. So I'm holding up, still working hard.
I gotcha. Yeah. So how'd you get into painting specifically in VR?
It's a bit of a weird story. So, I first of all, do you know the actual like painting world of VR chat, right? The actual like the one that's like very common, right? It's the one in the main list of things. I originally went there to just kind of like see what like, oh look, it's like I'm first time in VR chat, started 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately got into that world because it was the most exciting world on the list for me. It was like Among Us, okay, played enough of that and seen enough of that on Twitch. Let's just go directly to the art world. Like, this was like in the cusp of like the Among Us craze, if I could say that. Like, that's when like everybody was playing Among Us. It was like Among Us everywhere, and like people invited everybody to Among Us. So decided to go to the painting world and just started painting people that I just kind of met in. This was like even before. They're like, pictures of me painting like just random people that I just kind of met in VRChat the first day of me just playing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, started painting there, and then just kind of moved. Just kind of started like us, like, oh, might as well just show this off and then stream it, and then just kind of became, well, long story short, ended up here.
True. Now you're here. Okay, so how did you find out about VRChat specifically? Was it like a YouTuber? Was it a streamer? Or you just, you know, browsing, bought a headset, or just like, what's this VR chat app? What is this?
So I know a lot of like, so before I joined VRChat, I knew a lot of VTubers who just kind of like jumped a little bit here and there and stuff like that.
Okay.
And being interested as well, I kind of was just like, oh, interesting, let me just check this out, and like decided to buy a headset, checked it out in the summer, absolutely hated it.
Mm-hmm.
To fucking packed it up on the shelf, didn't return to VRChat at all.
Mm-hmm.
For like a solid 4 months, and then I was like, you know what, let me give this another chance, and then, you know, there we go.
Okay, that's interesting. And now here you are, you know? Okay, so why the name DullDummy? Is there a specific story behind that? Or why, about your username?
Oh. So my first avatar was, or like my first character model, I guess, or not really avatar per se, but like, it's a really old name that I used to have back in the day, but like it was, DullDummy came from mainly just because, like, I mean, you've probably been there too, where like you just kind of have like these, like, you find like something that looks, it's like, what should I name myself? You look around the room, you just like don't know. What happened was I love drawing puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Another word for puppet is a dummy.
Yeah.
And another word for a puppet also being dull, or a doll.
Mm-hmm.
So it started off with DullDummy, but then it became DullDummy because I kind of like the idea of like a little bit more of a broken down puppet, because I'm not really that like, you know, just a little bit of like flaws here and there, just like there's an arm falling off, hand falling off, eye, boop, there it goes.
I gotcha.
So DullDummy.
Okay. It is an interesting name, you know. It's the one that caught my eye specifically. So, okay, what about your avatar then? Like, oh, you know, is there a story behind the avatar? You know, you have like the light blue, like cyan, and the pink, and the, you know.
Very big fan of the 80s. If I can, that's literally as much as I can say. Color scheme 80s theme, you know. Blue and pink hair, like very blue and pink. No, like literally the avatar itself, just, I don't know, was in VCAT for like the Christmas VCAT, and just kind of like stumbled upon this one. I was like, that one speaks to me, and like my friends were like, what? It's like it doesn't have any features. And I'm like, it's perfect, it's me.
Okay.
No designable features, it's perfect.
all right. So, okay, then how did you get into streaming specifically? Sorry, were you inspired by other people? Did someone, you know, poke and prod you and say, "Come on, start streaming. I want you to stream art"?
I started streaming. I don't know. It's like 7 to 8 years ago was when I started streaming.
Snap. Okay, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. So it started off with just, you know, tablet and like, you know, drawing on the tablet, just kind of like making like custom art, and like sometimes just like painting people that just. What I used to do was something where like people just show up and I just paint that, like they do just be like, hey, draw this and this, like just you know. It's like one of my favorite, and believe me, it comes back to haunt me for the rest of my life. Was someone was like, hey, can you draw Morty from Rick and Morty and Sailor Moon together, and like in one, like just like kind of morph them together? I'm like, I can do that. And it's like, and like afterwards I was like, dear Lord, what have I done? There's a lot of lot of nice moments and a lot of trauma from all the paintings that I've done there. So
a lot of
not
curse
really
moments.
Oh yeah, majority curse moments.
Do you have like a home world where you like take photos of all the paintings that you've done and then put them around the world?
I've been working on it.
Oh,
But I've been working on it for like over a month. And that's one of those fucking scenarios.
Okay. No, I think that'd be interesting. Like, have like an art gallery of DullDummy where you just walk through and it's just a bunch of like art pieces, and then people are like, yeah, I speak with this art piece speaks of me, you know, like how like what people do in real life.
Should I put the Rick and Morty at the front then? I mean,
Sure.
I mean that might just
It's your world.
I mean, that might get people.
If you want to put Rick and Morty in front of your world, and you know, it's all you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a bit of a fun story how that one actually
Okay.
that one specifically got actually to a fun story. So Cartoon Network executives have actually seen it.
Oh, really?
Painting specifically. Yeah, no.
What, like, what's his name?
And-
Justin Roiland? You seen it?
I don't know if Justin Roiland specifically has seen it. I don't know for sure. But basically what happened was I got contacted by a thing called like a place called T Public, and like they were like talking about like because they were trying to get people in on a new system that we're working on where they were trying to like they make t-shirts and stuff like that. Yeah, T Public, very commonplace. But like they were like, okay, let's make a system where people can make fan art into actual merch that can also be bought into like the like, so like, you know, it's like they had on the list was like, for example, The Last Unicorn, Steven Universe, like Rick and Morty was like all on the list and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They contacted me through my DeviantArt where I uploaded the Rick and Morty picture, and they were like, "Hey, we really like this. Hey, can you actually, like, we would like you to join us to be in the early access or beta of this program if you would like to, because we really like your Rick and Morty shirt. Can you paint an actually official like Rick and Morty, a little bit more like something a little bit more cool and fancy there, like, and work it out a little bit more?" And I was like, yeah, I can see if I can do that. So I set up my store. Immediately they went and like, I was like, let's just make a cute banner, like very cute stuff and stuff like that. And they were like, that's not what we wanted. Let me just change it all. And it was just all changed around with like art from a DeviantArt, just like all like Frankenstein around like the entire page. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But yeah. So they were talking about like, yeah, Cartoon Network really liked your Rick and Morty with Sailor Moon, and I was like, wait, they like that?
You couldn't stay away,
They
huh?
actually, they
Keep
like
coming back for
no
more,
joke.
I see.
Chocolate_profit
Yeah, that
just
actually kind of made me
resubscribed for
laugh
2
a little
months.
bit because it's like,
Performers, artists, and
oh,
unique
this
people are
curse thing
always
that
amazing.
someone in my
And
chat
your
just randomly
interviews shine
stopped
a
by to
beautiful
say.
light on these people that all own their paths. Via.
Sorry, I don't know if we could, you know, thanks for the tier 1 for 2 months. I appreciate it. Back to what I was saying. If they're selling that in a store, when do you get royalties from it?
Yeah, that's the point of it. It's like, well, like if they sold it, but like they didn't, like they couldn't sell that one because there was like the Sailor Moon stuff and like the stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they basically wanted me, so they basically contacted me to paint a specific one that was basically like an official merch for Rick and Morty, and try to like get me to like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, look at this, we have interesting people here at T Public, despite me being like a last minute entry from like another website, like kind of just
Yeah.
like, here, scoot this artist over. So yeah, I don't know, the other one got sold, but like the previous, like the Rick and Morty Sailor Moon one, sadly there's no t-shirt about that. I'm sorry.
You could have been a millionaire.
Yeah,
Shit. It's
if
okay.
only.
It's okay. Sometimes we win. You know, there's always next time, you know?
Yeah,
I gotcha.
maybe that should be the next painting.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe the next painting will be the one that's the $1 million, you know, winner for lottery. Anything can happen, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How many paintings have you done in total? Like, do you know how many you've done?
Like if you talk speed paint wise, we're currently at 50. We're 51
Okay.
like tomorrow, so it's like it's actually
Okay, that's quite a few.
we're they all started like this year, so it's very excited to just kind of continue with that. But yeah, I don't know. Other than like I guess like because there were some that I didn't film, of course, but like they're decent. They took everything from like 20 minutes to 45 minutes to 1 hour, while the ones that I specifically speed painted took 3 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours.
Oh snap!
It's like between that range.
Do you have people like contact you to commission you for art, to do paintings for them?
I actually do, yeah. Well, recently, actually, I got commissioned by. I've been commissioned by 2 people. So it hasn't been that bad. Been having fun.
Well, there's many art pieces around this world. You know, maybe we got some room around here. You know, maybe.
I mean, if you're into it, something. I mean, can you put it on that like? Can you just like put it on that building like a far away, like in the distance building over there, maybe?
Perhaps.
Like far, far away. You can see Rebel pointing out through that window over there.
Yeah, maybe. I could do that. There's a lot of things I could do. Okay. Were you always an artist?
I'll get in contact with that guy.
like outside of VR, like specifically traditional, like did you ever go to art school? Did you just draw as a kid? Did you have inspiration in high school or you know, post-secondary, like college, university? You know, or you just randomly got a headset and was like, I want to paint in VR.
Little bit of everything, honestly. My real job is actually painter, so I paint and design, like drawing and basically logo designer and like everything like from there. That's what I do in real life. So.
Oh, the real.
But
Bob
with all the
Ross.
other stuff, is also like.
Yeah, but what do you focus on mostly IRL? Do you focus on like people as well IRL, or is it more like landscapes and sceneries?
It's usually commission work. Commission work is mostly
okay.
like that, like stuff that usually gets done with like logo design. But there are times when I usually like enjoy landscape and like paint, like landscape painting and like a little bit more people painting. It's like sometimes, but like it's just it's a little bit more. People sometimes like see it like an open field and think like that's what I want. That looks beautiful.
Paint that.
When they see a person, they're like, that's not me.
Oh, what? I want someone to paint me, but I'm sitting in this chair looking like a baller, like a mafia boss. You know those type of paintings? Yeah, that's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With like the shadowing kind of like hitting like over the, like so you barely you see like the top of the eyes like
that's right.
glowing through the dark.
That's right. And be like, yo, what's going on? Or you could just, you know, pay me when I'm sitting behind my talk show desk or something. I don't know. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I
mean,
want.
I will say this. I've kind of held my tongue already. Like the first day I met you,
Go on.
like in VR, actually, I kind of had an idea immediately,
Okay.
if I could say that. Like I was like, okay, don't get too excited or you scare them away. Don't get too excited or you scare them away. No, there is that point of like, look, there are some people, and I will say this, you probably notice this too, like whenever you interview and stuff, there are some people that just have such an energy. You can kind of feel what they're about. Like you can feel like your previous guest, for example, like she, like you can really like hear, like, yeah, everything about her just like screamed out at me, kind of like, this is the person that I'm talking to. This is like what they do. This is what they enjoy. Like this, like they really live for this. And like that's what I really like. So when people do dancing, singing, poetry, I don't know, hacky sack. Like if they're like really into hacky sack, I mean, if they can talk about hacky sack for like a solid hour, that is most likely one that I'm probably gonna be like, you know, this person is strange, but I do love his energy. I'm gonna paint them. That's kind of like the idea of it. And like when I saw you like about everything with the talk show and like everything, I was like, man, do I just want to paint that right now.
Yeah, the only time I feel truly alive is when I'm talking on my talk show. Anything else, I'm like 1 foot in the grave, you know? It's the only thing that excites me in life. I'm like, this is my talk show and my cool things, and then someone's talking about something like NASCAR. I'm like, dude, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way. It's especially with cars. Oh, goodness gracious.
Everybody has a passion, you know. You shouldn't shoot someone down for what they enjoy or what they do, right? Because not everybody is the same, right? Some people like fishing, some people like rock climbing, some people like traveling, you know. If they're passionate about something, just say, hey, good for you, or like, hey, that's awesome. You know, you don't have to, you know, push them down and say, no, don't talk about that. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Enjoy what you like. Take initiative. Go full out. Just nerd out, geek out about what you love. It's
That's right.
perfectly fine.
Yeah. For me, it's doing interviews in VR. It's what I like to do. You know, it's passion for me, and
Yeah.
for other people, maybe they don't like that, but hey, to each their own. You know, you enjoy what you do, and that's all I can really say. I mean, I like to do what I do, and some people like dancing. Some people like to sing. Some people like to role play and do other things, and it's all what you want to do, right? And you'll find people that have a similar interest. I just fill a void in VR chat because I'm doing something that's very niche, but people know me for that niche thing, which is doing interviews. That's just what got me to stand out, and something that I found that I enjoyed. You know, there's plenty of people that dance, plenty of people that role play, but there's not too many like interviewer talk show people. There are a few, obviously, but not as many as the other types of content in VR chat.
Yeah, I feel ya. That is quite few people that I've seen painting as well. It's like just,
Yeah, I was about
like
to say, painting in VR is niche in itself, but there are some people, like I know a couple people that would stream themselves going to the graffiti world and then doing graffiti. I saw some people doing that. I remember years ago meeting people in the presentation room. One of my friends, Bob, literally would just see someone and then just draw them straight up, just in the presentation room, and just draw whatever I want. Another person was lucky that did that as well. For artists, the one cool world, maybe you've been to it. If you haven't, something to check out. It's called like the VR Art Museum, and essentially it's people doing 3D art, and then they put it in a world. So it's Great Moon set it up together like 2 years ago, but essentially I forget what the program's called, like VR Sculpt or Art Sculpt or something like that. Basically you paint in 3D, so it's not like a 2D like painting. It's only 3-dimensional, and it's like thousands of layers, and essentially people have like drawn like literally landscapes and like crazy stuff, like I don't know, like a Viking, and he's like 3-dimensional. You can like walk inside of him, and I'm like, yo, what the King Spray graffiti? That's what someone said. Yeah, that's another one.
I saw that world. That world is amazing. I literally love that world. Some of the world there, like some of the work there, I'm even like I can't even fathom how you would even like make something like that in myself. It's like freaking so cool.
Yeah, there's talented people. Like somebody, like one of the paintings was like a Lamborghini. It was like it had like effects where it was like driving, you see like the sparks coming off the car or something like that. It was like animated, and I was like, yo, that's cool. I was like, what the hell? So like, you know, I think VR enables people a lot, because in traditional sense, you know, you would draw 90% of the time probably 2D unless you're like a 3D modeler and you're making like a world or an asset or an avatar that's three-dimensional. But now you can take art in a 3D dimension, you know. Now you can actually draw, you know, actual people and stuff like that. Like one of the paintings was like Venom from Marvel, and I was like, dude, that's sick. Like someone drew like Venom and you know, I think the painting was like Venom trying to like eat somebody or something like that, and the guy's like scared. You can see like this, you know, walk up to the guy and he has like a scared expression, like because I think that's awesome to see. You know, I'm not someone who does art, but just to experience and just walk, like literally walk through like an exhibit and like get really up close, because most art exhibits in real life, you can't walk up to them. You can't be within even like, you know, a foot of them. Some of them you have to look at like 30 feet away because they don't want you to touch and ruin the paint or steal it or whatever. But in VR, I can literally be an inch away and like look at like the finer detail, or like some of the artists actually put details inside of the bodies of some of the art pieces, like hey, this is the credits, or like here's a little secret, and I'm like, what the heck? You like stick your head in just to see that.
Yeah. It's like it's actually kind of funny that you say that, because there are art pieces in real life as well that actually have, so you'll never see this at all, because like but the artists, some people, like an artist, and I met like weirdly enough in Denmark, really strange place to meet, but like hear about this kind of guy and just kind of meet like at a conference, just like that, him like talking to people like, hey, I like this is what I do, this is what I do. And some people ask, do you ever add anything to your paintings? And he was talking about it. Every painting he does that has like a little bit, like, how to say, because he did like very minimalistic, like black line, white, like very like, how to say, like stuff most people would be like, is this art?
Yeah, art.
But I mean, it's art. Yeah. is this art? But yeah, he would sometimes paint like an entire like he talked about this. He apparently painted an entire like thing underneath and painted over again.
Okay.
Why? I don't know. But like, technically speaking, if you would have found a way to like peel off the layer of anything of the paint, you would see it. But nobody would ever be able to do that.
What if you
so
had,
I don't
like,
understand
special paint, like special like UV light paint where like you could see under it, and only if you had like the phone app or like a special flashlight, you click it on and it's like, oh shit, secrets.
Oh, actually that was like one of those like t-shirts that you would have as a kid that like you just completely like, it's like, it says, it's like completely white, but then you go into the sun and suddenly says like, hi, my name's David, or something like that. It's it's like, well, cool shirt, but why it disappears immediately?
Yeah, sorry, I was taking a drink. But yeah, I agree. Like glow in the dark shirts and the UV lights and stuff like that. That could be something somebody does, maybe one day. But like I said, I think 3D art in a museum is going to be very interesting, because that was just one, and I think there's one other world that's very similar to the first one I just mentioned I saw recently. Same concept, where it's like 3D art someone did, and then they just exported it all to VR chat. Because I think the second world, you can actually like, you have to walk through the painting, and then it's like a keyhole, and it teleports you to the next room, but you can see people through the keyhole. And I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's some very, very, very talented artists, very talented people that do some really crazy, cool stuff if you know what you're doing. Like I said, I'm not an artist. I have carpal tunnel in both hands, and you know, I was just drawing anime girls, you know, like 10 years ago. That was my art experience.
And that is art. I mean, technically speaking, like I would even argue like map creation, avatar creation, and like everything like that is technically a form of art too. I would always argue that. It's like there's I mean, especially like, have you seen some of these avatars and like freaking worlds? Like Jesus, like
absolutely.
like some people make like the craziest stuff in VR chat, and they're just like, oh yeah, like what does it do? Well, it's a very poor avatar. I'm never gonna use it, but you know, look at this thing I could do, and hand turns into a gun, and like hand turns back
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
regular hand, and then gun again, like just from the smallest details.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
there's some
and-
crazy avatars I've seen.
Oh, there's a lot of you. That's
Oh,
okay.
snap.
Yeah,
I can handle
I can
all
barely
of you
get
at
anything
once.
done in Unity.
So we got another raid from Dusty Dust Bunny. Appreciate it. Thank you. Is that Dusty Dust Bunny, the belly dancer teacher? Heck yeah. Poggers. We're doing a chill discussion with DullDummy here. But
Hi, Dust Bunny.
do you know Dust Bunny?
I've attended a few of our classes before. I
Are
was
you
in.
a belly dancer?
I'm.
That's so nice of you.
I joined.
I'm a giver
I think it was
too.
Tango.
Kelly
Tango
also
dancing.
gifted a tier 1 sub
That's
to
what
Dusty Dust Bunny.
She taught me
They
a
have
bit.
given 12 gift subs in the channel.
So you can dance and paint at the same time.
It's kind of the only way I got introduced to VR chat. Technically speaking, it was dancing actually.
Oh snap! Okay, the plot thickens. You know, you start off dancing, and then you're like, wait, what else can I do in this world? I can paint too. Nice, interesting. You know, like you said, art and worlds is a expression of art in a way. I used to make worlds, though the worlds I made were kind of very simple. But I have big ideas. I think that's what I'm sort of what do you call it? I can't make stuff. I got bad hands, and I don't have time. Not enough time in a day to do them. But I have large ideas that then I give to somebody that then makes the idea happen. You know, that's what like commissioning art is like, or commissioning an avatar, or commissioning a world creator. You know, I sort of have the idea and I give it to somebody, and I trust them to develop it, like this avatar that represents myself. I'm a big thinker.
Yeah. Well, sometimes an idea is enough to basically like spark an entire like chain of events that would initially create something that's grand and amazing.
It's true. Me doing this talk show and then interviewing you, if I didn't do this show, I might not have never met you. So that's a chain of events right there.
Exactly. Just happens.
That's right.
It's actually kind of interesting you're talking about like world maps, because I've kind of noticed one thing, and I thought about it literally yesterday. So I keep being it like I haven't really been to any worlds that are like older than like how to say like 2017 like
Okay.
18 19 like I've never like I usually just like go on the ones that were popular. But recently I've been like asked like, oh, you should check out this world, like these are old worlds and older worlds and stuff like that. So I don't know, do you remember MySpace?
Briefly, but yes.
Or do you have all of these like old worlds that I just saw, like with like some pictures here and there, like some like text, like some particle effect in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And the mirror, of course. Always important to have the mirror.
Course.
Yeah. Can't mirror dwell without a mirror. But yeah, just seeing those worlds is just like reminding me of old time like MySpace. It's like, oh look, first worlds. Like, look at that, beautiful. They actually look like they have like this like character to them that I really like.
Yeah, are you referring to like old worlds that would have like, it was very common back then to have like a gallery, so then you would show like old screenshots from like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
And like it had like the old nameplates, and then everyone's just like, oh, I'm with my friends, ooh, ooh, you know, type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of old worlds had that. If you even go to some worlds that they are old, but they've been updated. Like if you go to the Great Pug and you ever walk up the stairs to the second floor and just look at the wall, it actually is full of pictures, like from like some of these pictures are like 6 years old. Like the nameplates were like red, if you didn't know that originally, then green. Now they're whatever that is now, gray with the yellow text or whatever. So it's changed a lot since the beginning. But if you take a peek and look at the wall there, you'll see like specific like Halloween like 2017 or something like that. Or if you go to the Black Cat has the same thing. There's a bunch of pictures of people on the wall. You know, or if you go to like an old horror map, it was very common to do like an adventure map, and then you would take a picture and then send it to the world creator, and then your picture would be added. For example, the Studio Ghibli world in VRChat, which was made like 4+ years ago, I have a picture of myself in there, and I didn't even know what it was for, because at the time the world was brand new, and I happened to be the right place at the right time, and the guy who was working on the world literally was there. He's like, yo, he's like, I want to take some photos of everybody, because there was like 30 people just standing around. And I was like, sure. And he's like, oh, I'm going to add you to this world. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever that means. And then, you know, like years later, I go back and then I see like my old avatar, my old username, and I'm like, whoa, okay, that's what he meant by that. Like a bunch of old pictures of me. So if you really look around VRChat, you'll see some old photos of me in some worlds.
Actually, now I'm just gonna look for that. Like, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's Rebel? Where's Rebel? In this? Is there a Rebel in this world?
Or if you go to my old world, Presentation Room Plus, it has a giant mural. Literally, if you turn around, it has 450 people on it. And I'm one of them in the middle.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's just an example. And I got the idea from Dance Dance VR, because Dance Dance VR was a club. I'm sure it still exists. Yeah, and the waifu wall too. I used to collect the waifus. And yeah, with all my ex-waifus. The ex-waifus, listen, some of them are still my waifus in my heart. But anyway, I got the idea because of Dance Dance VR. Dance Dance VR was a club I used to kind of frequent. I think it's still alive, like the club itself, the Discord. But essentially, they had a wall where it was like a Photoshop image of like 100 people, and it looked like there was like 100 people standing next to each other. Obviously, that's impossible to happen in VRChat, but when you green screen everybody in, it looks like there's like 150 people just chilling together, like a giant hangout. And I saw that, and I was like, dude, I should do that. So I recreated that, but put like 400 people in it, so it looks like everybody's just standing together. It's just perfectly green screened.
That sounds amazing.
Photoshop. Yeah.
Like, yeah. What is the maximum? 80 people, isn't it? That's in VRChat.
That's the max you can have. But what I did was I basically went around to all my friends, took out my VRChat camera, switched it to the green screen filter or the alpha transparency filter, and then just took a picture. And then went in Photoshop and just went boop, 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 and just kept adding them until I got 400 and whatever it was, 440 layers. And then I put in my world, and then when you look at it, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of people. Yeah. That was in 2019 I did that. Yeah.
Oh, that is something so simple that just kind of goes so far, and just you think about it like years later, and it's like, oh, I remember that. It's a cute picture. It's like you kind of have that with you.
Yeah, it took like 5 minutes for Photoshop
It's
to load
always
the
a good
file.
time.
Computer was
imagine.
exploding. I was like it was like whenever I saved, it took like 3 minutes. Computer couldn't. It was just too many pictures. It's just too many layers. Yeah, but point is, it was something I did for fun. I don't know if I'll do it again because now I have 1,800 friends, and let's just say when someone, while I was making it, they got upset at me because they were like, "Man, where's my picture?" And then they'll, pity bait me and say, "Well, I'm not in the world, so what the hell, man? Guess we're not friends anymore. Fuck you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, dude."
F.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
No
bye.
longer friends, I guess. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Just like,
Write a tweet longer. I'll read it. Never. Smile.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'll
there's actually
just simple.
there's actually a mural in this world in the green room, but that's not it's a picture. It's a drawing of like 200 people. in one picture.
Ah,
Yeah, I could show you.
That sounds cool,
after
actually.
this. I can show you it. It's pretty sick.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
old drawing of a bunch of people in it, and I'm in it, so I'm cool. But basically, it encompasses like a bunch of VR chat people around a specific community, and just kind of gives you the scope or the scale of like how many people actually play this game. But that's just a small part. Like, I've been to so many worlds. Like, I remember going to like a German world or something like that, like a German hangout world. And again, they had like a similar mural to mine, but it was like 200 people, and it was like all these German people that I would never know because I don't speak German. But it just gives you like a depth of like, holy crap, there's a lot of people in this game. Or if you go to like any community world, like you go to like the Fur Hub, or I remember going to like the VRPD or the Lloyd Police Department or anything like that, they'll have like these like giant like photos of like 50 people. I was like, I don't even know a single person in this photograph, but they're probably all homies, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I mean, technically, that's kind of what the Bob Ross paint world is kind of becoming at this point.
Yeah.
Just, it's like, all my homies, yet. And then, yeah, then someone sends me a message like, when are you going to draw me? And I'm like, this again.
Yeah, this again.
And it's like,
I think the most crazy
Yeah.
thing I've seen someone do was like 3 or 4 years ago. Someone went to a presentation room and then sat there for 12 hours and then tried to draw as many people in that world with the limited markers. Yeah.
that would actually kind of be fun.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
stuck in many people in there, and I was just like, damn. And it was so laggy too. They were getting like 10 FPS by the end of it. Because it had so many layers, so many
God, can you imagine?
drawings. Yeah.
Can you imagine drawing in that though?
Yeah,
I
they
think
colored
that's
it.
Probably the worst thing.
It wasn't just drawing people and like outlining. It was literally they colored everything. Every.
They colored. Oh,
Yeah, they did it all.
ow.
Well, there's only like 6 colors. So like the skin color was orange. Everybody would just had orange skin. Because there's no cyan, or not cyan, no peach color marker in that world. So everyone was just orange skin and had very basic hair, like red or green or blue, and you know.
I mean, it's still impressive. I mean, oh god. I know the pain of painting with lag. Jesus Christmas. That is not fun.
Yeah, one day you'll do a mural of you just have like a giant canvas that spans like a giant wall, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sit here for 24 hours and draw as many people as I can.
The longest I've spent like that is 8 hours because there was a
Damn.
world with a canvas like that actually.
Yeah.
But I haven't like I tried, but I just like after a while I was like, you know what? It's like I spent I ended up spending 6 hours painting just the background.
Oh my god.
The two other hours was drawing 2 people in there. It's like
So what you're
there's,
saying is you should get a bunch of artists together, like a collab.
that was actually something we were talking about actually. Getting as many VR chat artists and painters in one world and just kind of
Yeah.
like if I just with the limited pens just try to make a project together, like if it's a city or like a forest or like a mountaintop or like anything like relatively there, like just kind of like see how much we can like paint with like the limited markers we have. Because that is a project that sounds like interesting to me, because like I would love to see like because everybody would then be working on something different but separate. But the problem is like there's only like usually 8 to 11 12 markers in each like world and stuff like that, and I would have to make my own map then in that case if I were to make something a little bit more like, how to say, grander and bigger.
Unless you did not like a painting, but kind of like a doodle. So I see a lot of artists doing this where they'll have like a giant white canvas, and then everybody gets their own little section, and then they'll just doodle something after like an hour or two. That might be more up your alley, where it doesn't need to be
draw
color.
pile.
Yeah, like a draw pile. There you go. That's what I was thinking of. But in VR chat.
Yeah.
So then, like, you'd be like, all right, we have 1 hour,
Yeah.
draw whatever you want. You're like, okay. And then everyone just draws. And then at the very end, you, like, you zoom backwards and be like, what did you draw? And you'd be like, oh, shit. You know? That might be a lot easier for you, because it's, like, only, like, 1 hour. You don't need to, like, do something, like, super detailed. It can just be, like, a sketch.
Yeah. Well, that could definitely work. I feel like that could work a lot better. I'll definitely look into that, actually. So,
See, I'm full of ideas.
are you patenting that?
No. No, people already do these things.
Oh, okay.
I just give out ideas. I'm just the guy who just
Okay.
helps people out by giving them ideas, and you know, they have fun. Because that's something I'll never do. Like, I don't draw, so like I might as well tell you, you know, give you suggestions.
Yeah. If anybody have any ideas that they don't mind me putting my name on it,
I mean,
please tell me.
yeah, sure. No, I gotcha.
Any that I can act all smart and smug and then be like, ho ho ho, yes,
Yeah.
amazing.
Do you have any? We'll start taking questions from the chat and yourself. Do you have any questions for me or anything you want to discuss, talk about?
Actually, yeah, like, so actually, kind of was wondering about this because it's like you kind of like built yourself up from like where was your like start in like the start of like the rebel, like you being on VR chat just talking to people? Actually, what was the start of that actually?
You mean the start of me in general, or the start of my talk show?
More like start of your like your VR chat Twitch journey, if I can say that. Like,
Okay.
were you like an open interviewer, or were you like a
So I've had this name, That One Rebels, for like practically 10 years. But that was way before VR chat. I got the name because of an Xbox gamer tag, and then I just kept it around because I don't know. When I used to play Xbox, 360, I used to play a lot of Halo, Call of Duty, Gears, all that stuff, and I just really enjoyed first-person shooters, and I just named myself Rebel because I was just like, I was going against the cloth and like doing things that people wouldn't do. Like, I would handicap myself by like playing a specific build to prove that I was better than everybody else. For example, I played Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and most people would use like Attack Chopper and like Blackbird and like fucking the nuke or whatever, and Attack Dogs or whatever. And then I would only use UAV, counter UVA, and Blackbird. So I had to personally kill all 30 players or 25, whatever it is, for free for all. It's been like 10 years since I played. Can't remember now. But essentially, I would handicap myself and only use specific perks and specific weapons. So that's where the name came from. But fast forward to VR chat, still using the same username because that was just my online handle for like 10 years. I started playing VR chat because of Pokelols. He started playing the game in December of 2017, and I wasn't doing interviews. I wasn't even a talk show host. I wasn't even doing any of that stuff. I was just some dude who pretended he was American and did a hillbilly accent and walked around this game for like a year and a half. That was my thing. But in the back of my mind, I wanted to do initially VR news, but it never happened. I spoke my ideas and told other people in my team or my group I want to do these things, but no one really caught on to it. I had an avatar where I could walk around with like a microphone and like kind of do like on the street journalism like this, like, hey, what's going on? But it was kind of like just like a silly thing I did for like a gag. Nothing serious. And then, again, I tried to set up a world, and I have this world called Midnight Central News, where again I tried to do a news thing, brought up to like other people. Nobody cared. Nobody had interest in it. Nobody saw the bigger, bright ideas I had. They just didn't care. So in early 2019, I met a person by the name of Wife of Delivery Service, who is now named I'm Ladle. She changed her name on Twitch. And her and I met at Neko Nights, which is a club that doesn't exist anymore. But when it did, it was every Friday night. You drink and socialize. And I happened to meet her there, and the conversation started about my world, Presentation Room Plus, the one where I had that giant mural. And she was like, "Oh, a lot of my friends are on that mural." I was like, and then we started talking, and we came together. This is all off stream, and we wanted to do an open discussion together, kind of like what this is basically. And her and I did it, and first we did it in My World Presentation Room Plus. We did it for every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the first 3 or 4 episodes were in My World, and then Ladle said, "Hey, I have my friend Shizui, who is also my friend, make a world for Ladle," and it was called the Ladle Talk Show or Ladle Podcast, or something like that. And basically, it was more of like a traditional, you get desk and a chair and like an interview setting. She was the host, I was the co-host. And we did the show for, I can't remember exactly how many weeks because I didn't like highlight any of it, but it was probably like 15 to 20 weeks because we did it once a week. And eventually in like August in August of that year, so from January 2019 to August of 2019, we did this show. And eventually it got canceled and we went our separate ways. And people that watched that show really, really enjoyed it. And I was just the co-host. I was just the side character to Ladle. And people kept telling me that I should run my own show, that I should run my own talk show, because they really enjoyed me being on Ladle's show. They're like, "You should just make your own show, dude." And so I did. And in September, which is a month later, I made a really crappy Unity set. Like in Unity, I sat down for 2 or 3 days and made a really shitty set, not this world, like a crappier version. And it had basically the desk, a chair, and a couple seats next to me, and like 3 camera angles, and that was it. And essentially, I started interviewing people, doing my own show on my own stream, and people loved it. And then people really, really liked me interviewing people, wanted to talk about all the time about my show. And that's how I got started doing interviews and talk shows, and why my content is focused on that. And then in June of 2020 is where I got this version of This World, made by Legends. And then I started using this world, and which is greatly expanded upon my old crappy one. And then in last October of 2021 is when my world then got updated to SDK 3 by Vogan. And then Vogan got too busy, so then in January of 2022, which is only 5 months ago, Castle took over the project and then started updating it. And then only like a month ago, because Castle got too busy, Macmillan then took it over and then started working on this world for me. And it's pretty much, it's usable, obviously. It's just that we're adding future sets and things like that. Like I didn't have this set that we have here. I didn't have the interviewer set. I didn't have the podcast set. I had just the desk and the chairs, and that was it. But these are new sets. They're developed in a new camera system. So that's to answer your question, how I got into interviews and the talk shows.
That is really cool. Like just like people just reaching out to you as well. They're just like, it's like, "Hey, this thing you did, yeah, continue it. It was fun."
Yeah, it's straight up.
It's like
Straight up. People would say that to my face in VR. They're like, "Dude, where's that show you did with Ladle?" I was like, "Oh, it canceled." They're like, "What?" They're like, "Dude, you should make your own." And so I said, "You know what? I should." So I did. True story.
Yeah.
And here I am, 276 interviews later, and 2.5 years later.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So we have a question here from Chocolate Prophet. Says, will DullDummy do a draw-a-thon for their stream anniversary for 12 to 24 hours straight?
12 to 24 hours straight. If I would do a full-on drawing, a paint-a-thon, I guess. I mean, like I have thought about the idea before, 100%. And it definitely has been on my mind multiple times. Where like, just the idea of like painting like for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is that like, if I am gonna do that, I will probably need some like preparation time, because painting is exhausting. Using that creativity part of your brain will like do something with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm gonna, I don't know. I have seen some challenges though that is very interesting, and it's like work on a painting for 24 hours exactly, where you are starting on one painting at the start of like basically like through the entire 24 hours you're working on one painting specifically. Like, because if I would do it now, I probably would do like, let's see, if each take 4 hours, how many paintings would that be in 24 hours? I don't know, like
4 hours
That'll
per
be
painting. 6.
6.
4 times 6 is 24.
Yeah, 6. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, been thinking about it, but uncertain if I'm in the right headspace at the time.
Well, you can always just do a 12-hour stream and just do 3 paintings, and then do one day at 12 hours and then another day at 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do all 24 hours at once.
Yeah, true.
Or 8 hours, where you just do 2 paintings and then you do it for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like day 1, day 2, day 3. There's no one that says you have to do it for 24 hours in a straight in a row, bro, or you're not cool. Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, it is fun though. There's that fun. God, there's a little challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You could do one interview in 24 hours. That could be fun.
Oh man, 24 interviews in 24 hours. 1 hour per interview.
Yeah.
Dude, by the end of it, I'm like, hey man, what's going on, bro? All right, you take over as the host.
It's like
And I'd be dead
people
inside.
can't even hear the questions anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to discuss, or anybody in the audience wants to ask any questions to DullDummy? We'll take any audience questions. Think of the content. True, Takaro, the content is there. You're right. Does Takaro have a question? All right. We'll amplify Takaro. Actually, we can use this camera. You know this camera? Oh, this. Where is it? Yeah, this camera. I forgot about this camera. And then you do this, and then Takaro. If you want to stand where that mic is, and then talk.
Where's the bathroom?
In this world.
Yeah.
Well, the door is locked right now, but you basically go for that door and then you piss in the lake.
Okay, thank you. I've been holding it for 4 hours.
Okay. All right, thanks. That was very important. Any other questions?
Well, why was you there 2 hours before the stream?
I don't know. They could have just taken a piss at any point in time. But whatever.
You think they just sat here like for 2 hours beforehand, and then the 2 hours that you currently have been on online now? So just kind of like they were just sitting there the first 2 hours, just like waiting, like, oh
Just
boy.
get a Quest 2. Then you can like sit on the toilet and be in VR. That's the future.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Future.
Future. Anyway, Chocolate Prophet says, what would be your dream painting that you would love to do once you feel ready to do it?
So this was actually a bit of a fun one, actually. I've been doing two of my, how to say, like two of my more like, how to say this, requested paintings, if I could say that. One of them is of so there was a bit of a, like, how to say, a roleplay family that I have in VR chat. That's a bit of a,
Okay.
just a little like cute thing that we have. and it was a picture of me and my 2 daughters, which I really wanted to paint for the longest time, and I finally got time last time to just kind of paint it, and it was a lot of fun to just kind of look at this like little very like cute, having them both on my side, just like really amazing. The other painting was another person who is a DJ slash dancer slash like dance host, basically, how to say it, or dance host. Basically, she basically like sets up everything where like basically like these people go dance now for these DJs and stuff like that, and their avatar, so many colors, so many like sides, like on the side, like very like colorful and big avatar, like very like lots of details. For the longest time I was intimidated to paint them because I just didn't know where to start, and if I would to fuck anything up, I would genuinely be upset with myself. But you know what, took it to myself, just like, you know what, let's just do it today, and I did. So yeah, that was the 2 dream paintings that I was like really like, oh, these are what I really need to do, and then I did them. If I have an idea, I usually just draw it. There's no limit to creativity per se.
I gotcha. That's awesome. We are coming up on the 1 hour for your segment, if you didn't know that. So is there anything else you want to discuss, talk about, shout out? This is the time is now.
Actually, yeah, I guess I could. I don't really. I mean, I feel like an hour is pretty good, if I can say that. So I don't know if I have anything that really can bring up that would spark a small topic that wouldn't last that long.
I meant like you could be like, hey, you know, tomorrow I'm going to be doing some more painting stuff on my channel, twitch.tv/DullDummy. Watch me tomorrow. I'm going to do some sick ass paintings.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah, actually tomorrow, fun fact, we're painting Rebel.
Yeah. Woo! Me? Hell yeah. Let's go.
I know. The sound effect sounded like almost sounded like they started booing there for a second.
No, it's more like a gasp. It's supposed to be like, like, oh my god. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it sounds like it's like boo, but it's actually like, like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to like, I really just wanted to get a more conversation with you and like see a little bit more what you do, and like being able to start the stream, like just kind of like see like how you handle like the other one, handle me here and stuff like that. I really just wanted to see, like, the more I see of a person, the more I can like catch what vibes they're giving off. So yeah, definitely painting Rebel right out tomorrow.
Need some references?
It's gonna happen. I always appreciate it. I always take any references I can get, but also, I mean, I have an entire stream here that.
True. Like, yeah, you can just watch
also,
the VOD and just see. But this isn't my normal chair. This is just
also,
a chair I use for this specific thing. Normally I do interviews where I'm sitting behind my interviewer desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also have like that commissioned art that you have behind, like where you're like on the desk sitting there. It's like your starting soon screen and stuff. So it's like,
yeah, that would be pretty good. At the start of every stream, you can see that art piece. That's probably like the best reference you can have.
For a lot of people, I only have like screenshots I take of them in general. But since you actually have like fan art, like artworks that are like in the world, like stuff like that, then it's like pretty easy for me to capture you in the painting.
I appreciate that. Hey, well, I appreciate it. You know, thank you for coming by, DullDummy. It was a pleasure to speak for you. Obviously, like I said, normally we would have another person after this, but Team F Johnny is sick with COVID, unfortunately, so he couldn't come by. So what I decided to do was have VeronciaJae on for basically an hour, and then having you on for an hour as well, to make up for lost time, because it would be a really short stream essentially. So I said, you know what, we'll extend both of those people, make up for lost time, and I don't regret it, because obviously I get to talk to you for a lot longer. I get to talk to VeronciaJae, who've known for a very long time, for much longer as well. But all good things must come to an end, unfortunately, and so is this stream. So I'd like to say thank you so much to DullDummy for coming by and talking about art and talking about, you know, various things that keep us passionate and keep us going in life, and, you know, me telling a bit more about myself and other things. If you haven't already,
Thank you for having me.
check out DullDummy. You know, they're going to be drawing me at twitch.tv/DullDummy. That's do you know what specific time do you stream?
Every day at well, not every day. Oh my god, not every day. Oh god, I would lose my mind. Every other day at 7:30 European time, but
You time. Yeah.
God, I'm having issues. I have a schedule. It's on a schedule thing. I guess
for
I'll say
Twitch.
that.
Oh yeah. It's basically like
Yeah, the Twitch schedule's there.
yeah, the Swiss. So like, if you're American like me, it'll probably start around like 1 or 2 p.m. Because you're like 6 hours ahead of us, 5 or 6, something
yeah.
like that. There you go. That's it. Or just follow them. Literally, just follow them, and then you get the notification. So there you go. Like, easy clap. You know, just boom.
Yeah.
Literally.
Usually also lasts about 5 to 6 hours. So like
Oh,
you
snap.
have time to just kind of
Yeah,
randomly just like go in and be like, oh, so that's how it looks like right now.
Yeah, and then you come back 2
Alright,
hours later.
Back to Halo.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, now it looks
Yeah,
like this.
exactly.
Whoa, what the hell? Yeah. So tomorrow, don't miss that. Like I said again, I thank you so much. Thank you everybody for coming by in the audience. I appreciate it. It makes me feel happy inside that people actually tune in to watch in the audience, to be there. You know, one day maybe I'll be in the audience and watch somebody else do something here. That'd be sick. Because I never had that experience before. Usually I'm the host, so I kind of want to like be in the audience. Maybe I want to do an improv show or something. I'll just sit in the audience. Just watch it.
I'm just
See how it
Sit.
unfolds. But
set an audience member just randomly in the area.
yeah, I mean, you never know. Maybe we'll have a Uno reversal card one day where somebody else is the host and I get to chill. It's like opposite day. They get to be the host. You know, so. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. If Dead Guy, you want to hit up the stream outro, I appreciate it. We're gonna go raid somebody, give somebody some love. I appreciate it. Thank you. See you later. God, I love that outro. Is that somebody else?
It really looks like a thing. Like thing. Wow, great detail there. But I meant to say an actual, like, how to say, talk show exit intro, outro.